All right, guys, a couple of weeks ago, I finished all my end of year list, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give you one more. I'm gonna talk about the non-horror movies that I am really looking forward to this year. So anyway, let's do it. What's up, guys? Welcome to a new top 10, even though there's gonna be more than 10 here. And I'm gonna change it up a little bit because my number one, or the last movie that I show you, is not going to be my most anticipated, because I figure you've probably seen so many videos about, you know, what's my most anticipated, and probably a lot of people are saying Deadpool 3. So I figured I'll do this in release order. So that way, it'll kind of give you an idea of when these movies come out too. So a little bit more helpful for you guys. And I'll say this right now, these movies haven't come out yet, all right? So a lot of these movies could end up being horrible, atrocious, but there's something about them that I still really am looking forward to, okay? So anyway, let's get right into it. And I'm gonna go through these really quick because I have 19 movies for you. Okay, opening up on Valentine's Day is Madam Webb with Dakota Johnson. This one's getting a lot of negative buzz. You know, people are kind of making fun of it, including me. It does look like it could be horrible, like Morbius bad, but I'm going to give it a shot because I'm a Spider-Man fan. And I always have hope that maybe Sony can pull out a good comic book film. I'm hoping for a big surprise, but every time I hope for a big surprise, it never pans out. It usually ends up being bad. I'm making a prediction that this one's not gonna be that good. And I know there's production troubles that they've had in the past with it, which is not a good sign. They were so dumb that they didn't realize that the timing wouldn't line up with what they intended, from what I heard. So yeah, it could be bad, but maybe they can salvage it. We shall see. Okay, number 18 is Dune Part 2. Again, this is probably one of my most anticipated movies of the year. The first one, it's Denis Villeneuve. Need I say more? I mean, the guy is a master in grand epic scale, and the first one delivered that. So I'm really curious to see where this one goes. You know, this is about the experience, all right? Anything Denis Villeneuve touches, I'm there. I want to see it. And I'm sure this one's gonna be great. You know, I don't really have to say too much about this movie. Timothée Chalamet, I'm sure he'll do a great job in it. And I definitely wanna go back and rewatch the first one. I have it on 4K, just to kind of refresh myself. I might do that after recording this, actually. Okay, next one, number 17, Roadhouse. Their trailer for this one just dropped the other day. And I was skeptical because the first Roadhouse is kind of sacred. You know, Patrick Swayze owned that role, and he's passed away now. And funny enough, Patrick, he starred in Donnie Darko with Jake Gyllenhaal. So after seeing the trailer though, and I didn't know that Doug Liman's directing this, now I'm really excited. I think Jake Gyllenhaal's gonna deliver. I mean, the guy is freaking built like a brick shit house. But this movie just looks really fun, and I agree with Doug Liman. Shame on Amazon for not releasing this in theaters. What the hell's wrong with them? And then it sounds like they actually promised that it was going to be released in theaters. So it pisses me off, and I kind of hope it bombs just to spite Amazon, but who knows? But I really want to see it. I think it looks really fun. You know, I need a good, fun action movie this year, and this looks like it might fit that bill. Number 16 is Love Lies Bleeding. I accidentally skipped over this one, but it comes out March 8th. So it might be a little bit out of order with the dates there, but that's okay. But I didn't realize that Saint Maud, the director of Saint Maud, directs this movie, and it's got Kristen Stewart. So it looks like it's gonna be something nice and heavy and dark. I love what Rose Glass did with Saint Maud. That movie really was unsettling, and it got under your skin, and it made you kind of question religion in general, but not in like a bad way, you know, just in kind of from a story point of view. But reading this, it says debut Saint Maud with this torrid tale of love, sex, and crime, possibly in that order. So maybe a good crime drama could be fun. We'll see. Next one is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. This one comes out on March 29th. I wasn't the biggest fan of the last Ghostbusters movie. I thought it was nostalgia bait for the most part. But who knows? This one might be fun. I'll still give it a shot. It looks like, you know, the original crew, they're gonna be part of it, you know, and I'm guessing that Jason Reitman is in the director's chair again. I don't really have much to say about it other than I'll give it a shot. Hopefully it's good. And just a reminder, guys, too, no horror is on this list, okay? Even though Ghostbusters might be filed under there, but I didn't include it in the last one. So if you wanna know my horror most anticipated, be sure to check out that video, okay? But yeah, this is all non-horror for the most part. Next one is Mickey 17, starring Robert Pattinson. Anything Pattinson does these days catches my eye anyway. The director of Parasite is doing this movie. Bong Joon-ho. Parasite, that was probably one of the best movies of that year. I mean, you can't go wrong with South Korean films, horror. I don't know if this one will be horror. Looks like it's a sci-fi movie where he's an astronaut sent to colonize a faraway planet. That mixed with South Korean filmmaking, yeah, sign me right up. Next up is Civil War, directed by Alex Garland. That's the big reason my butt will be in the seat. Anything Alex Garland does, he did Men. I know that was a controversial movie. He likes controversial movies because this looks like it's going to be controversial too, given today's state. You know what? I don't care what your freaking politics are. That's the crazy thing about today. People get so bent out of shape, and I hate you because you're on this side and I'm on this side, you know, and vice versa. It drives me freaking nuts, okay? At the end of the day, I just want to watch movies and eat popcorn, damn it. That's it. And this looks like it could be fun. We'll see. Looks epic too, you know? Our nation is divided. Why not make a movie out of that and piss everybody off? All right, next up, and I already lost count, The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling. Again, Ryan Gosling's another actor. He always gets my attention. He's very selective with his roles. This is a take on the original TV series, which I used to watch with Lee Majors back in the day. And looks like it's a mystery, some sort of, where he's like researching the death or investigating the disappearance of a movie star played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. So it looks like it's going to be a fun action comedy, which those are always good to have, kind of like Bullet Train was a couple years ago. And Emily Blunt's in it as well. So I like movies that take place on a movie set that revolve around, you know, actors. And I just love that whole world. And it seems like they're always really funny, you know, like making fun of these characters, kind of like the Nice Guys, how Ryan Gosling was in that movie, which I love that movie. So I'm hoping this has a little bit of that flavor. Coming out May 10th is Back to Black, the biopic about Amy Winehouse. Look, guys, if you've seen that documentary about Amy Winehouse that came out a few years ago, and the effect that the paparazzi can have on a young star or a young singer, it's very unsettling, and it's sad, and you just feel so bad for her. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they can convey her real life onto the big screen. Next up is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, coming out May 10th. This is one that I could have put on the horror list, but I forgot to. But you're damn right I'm gonna be there. Now, when does this one take place? It doesn't say here. I'm looking at Rolling Stone's page, but from what I've heard, I think it takes place maybe a couple of hundred years. You guys will let me know in the comments. You always do. But I think it takes place like maybe 50, 100 years after the events of War of the Planet of the Apes. So these movies are just really fun, you know. And I was never a big Planet of the Apes guy before the last trilogy came out. But man, that trilogy is so great. It's directed really well. You know, a couple different directors on those movies. But this looks like it's going to be really fun. The trailer looks epic as hell. Next up, Furiosa. Holy shit. George Miller is back directing a Mad Max movie or spinoff, Furiosa, with Anya Taylor-Joy, who is one of my favorite actresses working today. This comes out May 24th. This could be the big opener for the summer movie season, and I'm there freaking day one. This might be number one for me as far as most anticipated. It probably is. And it's kind of snuck up on me. I didn't even know that this was coming out until a couple months ago, but damn, that trailer looks really good. George Miller really knows how to make a kick-ass, pedal to the metal, diesel engine type movie. Am I making any sense? All right, I'm not a car guy. Funny enough, my dad like freaking loves cars to death, but I love the Mad Max movies though. June 7th, we have Ballerina, which is a John Wick spinoff starring Ana de Armas. Anything John Wick in that world is going to be enthralling, and you're going to have some really good, fun action. And will John Wick himself make a cameo in this? Will it take place after John Wick 4? Who knows? But I'll be there day one just because I love this whole world. Kudos to them for all the world building that they're planning to do around the John Wick franchise. And we'll probably end up getting another John Wick, I'm guessing. Okay, I believe I'm on number 7 now. It's Twisters. Man, the original Twister came out in 1996. I saw that in the theater, and it was so cool with the sound and everything. You literally felt like you were inside a Twister. So I didn't even know that they were making a sequel, but I saw here that they're doing one, and I'll definitely be there for that. Now, Helen Hunt's not going to be in this. Of course, the late Bill Paxton. Maybe they'll do something to honor him in this movie. That'd be cool. It's a whole new group, but I don't even really need to read a plot synopsis. I mean, they're They're storm chasers, right? I remember the Twister ride at Universal Studios. They just discontinued it a couple of years ago, but it was a fun, it wasn't really a ride. You just kind of walked through it, and there was like a little introduction, or just an ongoing video series as you walked through with Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. Number 6, Deadpool 3, July 26th. We don't want Hugh Jackman coming back unless he gets to share the screen with good friend Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool. This movie looks like it's gonna be a freaking blast. Now, it is under the MCU umbrella, and I hate to sound kind of negative because of the current state that the MCU is in. All good things must come to an end, right? But I think this will be a little sidestep, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and it'll be really fun and great. And I think they'll keep this at a hard R rating. I think it's already announced that it's an R rating, but it looks like it's gonna be really fun. I love the first 2 Deadpool movies. I have a blast with them. They're good comedies. You could watch them over and over and over, and this will fit nicely in my collection. Number 5, Craven the Hunter. No, I'm not saying I want to see this movie more than Deadpool 3. Again, I'm doing this in release order, but Aaron Taylor Johnson, he is playing one of Spider-Man's villains, Craven the Hunter. They're doing these, villain spin-off movies. It's probably gonna be bad, like Madam Webb. I still don't understand how he gets his powers by being bitten by a lion. Maybe some of you guys will let me know. But, it's a Marvel Sony movie, and for some reason, I can't help but give them a chance every time they put out a movie, hoping that it'll be as good as some of their Spider-Man movies. But yeah, we'll see, hopefully. Okay, number 4, coming out September 20th, I believe. Yeah, September 20th is Wolves. It's not Wolves, it's Wolves. And it stars Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Holy shit, I'm there day freaking one. Brad Pitt always picks interesting roles, as well as George Clooney. They both are what's called fixers, and they're hired to do the same job. And this is a plot that's been repeated, I think, a few times. But it looks like, it's going to be maybe like a comedy action type movie, just, based on the premise. I don't know. It could be a freaking gripping thriller. Who knows, okay? But knowing these two and their sense of humor with each other, I think they'll play off of each other really well, and it could have some good laughs in it. Number 3, Joker 2. It's called Joker Folie à Deux, and I'm sure I said that wrong, but I just watched Joker again last night. I've seen it so many times, and my God, what a masterpiece of a movie. And this is gonna be really interesting to see what's the next step in his journey, because Joaquin Phoenix's Joker was a completely different take on the character than it has ever been done before, and I think it was masterful the way it was handled, focusing in on his entire backstory, his evolution. I love how that movie ended with the killing of Bruce Wayne's family. So will Bruce Wayne be a part of this movie even though he's a kid? Maybe this will take place when Bruce becomes like a teenager, I don't know. Lady Gaga is playing Harley Quinn in this, which is really interesting. She's been getting a lot of great roles lately. She's a fine actress. I think she'll do a good job. If they can keep up with the grand scale and the emotional story beats that the last movie does, then this one will be just fine. Okay, number 2 is Venom 3, coming out November 8th. I don't really care for the last Venom movie with Carnage. The first one's fun, it's okay. So obviously this isn't like gonna be above Joker 2 or anything, okay? But release-wise, it comes out in November. I'll still give it a chance. I love Venom, and we all know how Spider-Man No Way Home ended. Are they gonna tie that in? Who knows? I know there's a whole debate going on with Marvel and Sony right now as to the future of Spider-Man. Maybe it's no pun intended, but an entanglement that's going on, a spider web entanglement. So is Venom going to just kind of stick to his own little world still in this movie, or is there gonna be more to it? Is he gonna tie in with Spider-Man? I want a Spider-Man Venom movie so bad, but I'm a little nervous because of the way Venom's being handled lately. He's more of a comedic type of character, and he wasn't really that in, like, say, Spider-Man 3. And I know they didn't really nail him in that movie, but I did like the tone of him, That scene where Eddie Brock is in the church and he wants Peter to die. That's great stuff. And you don't really get that with this new incarnation of Venom. And number 1, coming out November 22nd, is Gladiator II. Holy shit, the first Gladiator came out in 2000. What a great freaking movie. One of the best movies ever made as far as I'm concerned. Paul Mescal who is really on the rise lately. He's kind of like the new Timothy Chalamet, if I'm being honest, but with more of a rugged edge. Everything he's put out has been really interesting. He's a great actor. There's a lot going on behind the eyes, you know, with his performances. And I really enjoy watching him work. He does a great job. So I think After Sun was such a big surprise and such a gripping and really sad movie that came out. I think that was a couple years ago. And he immediately got my attention. And he did a great TV show too as well. But yeah, he's gonna be in Gladiator II. Reading here though, he does play Lucius. That kind of disturbs me though, because I wish they would have gotten Spencer Treat Clark. He's a great actor working today. Why not put him in that role? But Paul Mescal is gonna be great as Lucius anyway. So Ridley Scott is back directing. You know, I know Ridley Scott is hit and miss, but man, when he hits, he really hits. So I got a feeling this one's gonna be great. So yeah, that's it guys. That is all 19 movies that I am anticipating. Sure, I skipped over a few that I don't really care to see. And I'm sure there'll be some surprises throughout the year that I didn't put on this list. So yeah, so now I can at least say I got all the movies for 2024 out of my system that I wanna see. All right, so let me know down in the comments what you're looking for this year, horror or non-horror. Looking forward to hearing them. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Free for All Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. Become a channel member. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Drumdum out.